get it done.
So I was called by Jeff in, I think it was 2004. Originally, I thought he just wanted me to do a voiceover because they told me it was a video game. And then I got on the phone with him and he explained to me, no, I want you to actually be the character. He persuaded me to come to Missouri, to his studio, and we shot through this stuff in, what, about 2 days, was it?
Yeah.
Two full days, and now here we are in 2010, I think. and they finally finished it. So I am as much looking forward to seeing the finished result as everybody else.
I thought it was pretty cool what he was doing. He kept sending me graphics, initially I thought Jeff was like everybody else with a project where they say, hey, I got this idea and it's going to be a lot of fun, and usually those people just go away because they realize how much work goes into making something, and so I thought I'd never hear from him again. And then the next time I heard from him, he was out in California with his group of people who were going to make this thing. I thought he'd just go away, and he just kept coming back with more of the game and more of the rendered graphics. And then I got the rest of the MST people involved, Beez, and Josh and Joel and Frank and Mary Jo. And they're all spread out throughout the game, all of those people. So that was my participation. Oh, I'm also in it. Did I say that? The green screen work was weird. I don't know what it was like for you, Clive, but it was like, there was a folding chair and then a stage, and you go look up there and walk over there, and you're playing with something here. You're looking through a telescope or something, and it's just totally bizarre to now see ourselves in that environment which didn't exist.
A very surreal experience when you see it all put together, and I think I had no idea what I was doing half of the time. Jeff would say, yeah, so you're fighting a monster.
And it's really cool to watch this because we're 10 years younger. Yeah. We look really good.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You do look good in it, actually, Trace.
And then everything just went to hell.
I know.
What happened?
Often when you do a project or you come into it, you're kind of told what you have to do, and there's a lot of notes, and there's a lot of other people that have input. But this was just Jeff. So what was that like, and how did that differ from other experiences that you had?
I tend to work on a lot of commercials and TV shows at this point, and when Jeff came to me with this project, I was so happily surprised that it wasn't going to be that same kind of deal. Whereas for me, I think of it as just like this handful of corn that I throw out into the middle of these art directors and producers and all these people, and they kind of pick at the ideas until you get down to some little scraps at the bottom. When I was working with Jeff, he really sort of let us all make really daring choices and gave us kind of free range to make something really fun and exciting. So.
And whose idea was it to Barbarella you?
That was me. That was 100% Beezian idea. And maybe a little bit of Flash Gordon. I'd say those are two of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. And I said, I'm going to have a Barbarella moment. And Jeff said, go for it. So he indulged me. I hope that's all right with you guys.
And Trace, I would ask you the same kind of thing, because in this, you get to play really a very straight part, and kind of a heavy part.
Yeah, I really, probably the first time I wasn't wearing some goofy makeup or sitting under a puppet. So I really had no crutch to hide behind. Do people hide behind crutches? I don't think so. I think, yeah, it was a different kind of experience too, because although we've used green screen with Mystery Science Theater since the beginning, we weren't just sitting in front of it. We're not interacting and, mentioning with Clive that a lot of the times I didn't know what I was doing. I'm standing up on a big piece of plexiglass and I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea. So it was fun to see it come together and actually be in a spaceship.
Jeff, I wanted to ask you about some of the influences for this and where the idea came from and the art style kind of idea and all that.
You know, there's a lot of them. The movie Heavy Metal from the early 80s was always something I thought was really cool, the combination of the hard rock music and just that kind of imagery and a mixed media kind of thing that they did. That gave me the idea to create something that had a very stylized look. But yeah, it was that kind of thing, and just science fiction in general, and just wanted to do something that combined a lot of the things that I really like. And that's what I wanted to make, is something that I liked, and I thought that might be a smart thing to do. Not sure if it is or not. What do you guys think?
I want to open up the floor to this, so people can kind of ask if they have any questions at this point about
The robots interacting with people, it had that kind of MST3K feel. I was wondering if that influenced part of your thing before or after or when?
It was kind of a simultaneous thing, and I never really intended it for it to do that, but
Okay.
because it was always going to have robots and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at the time I began this, I only knew Trace, I didn't know the rest. And Beez was brought in initially simply as a wardrobe prop diva, as she did on that show, to help me with those kind of things, because we had 50-some actors and almost as many different costumes, you know. So it started there, and then Trace brought in more and more, and the cast got bigger and bigger, and it kind of happened naturally. And I always wanted to have a kind of a dark humor to it, because, you know, something like this, that, you know, it's not Avatar. You know, I don't have $250 million to do the CGI work and, you know, that kind of thing. So it's a very stylized thing, so I thought humor would really help. And I think it does, I think it works. Our idea is if you have a question, a good question, you get a t-shirt.
Can I have a t-shirt? Because that's a good question.
I've actually been following this project for a while. I first heard about it on the satellite news site. So
You're not sick of hearing about it's going to come out soon yet?
it's definitely been a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Come live in my basement for a while.
When I first heard about it, I started searching out, you know, any kind of news on it. Because an update would just be like, oh, it's still happening. Oh, this is great. And it sounds so exciting. I mean, I'm a fan of adventure games, I'm a fan of sci-fi, I'm a fan of MST. I mean, it's pretty much right up my alley.
Well, I knew that, and that's why I made this, so it's for you.
Well, yeah, thanks so much. I will definitely be.
What's your name?
happy. Jason.
We got to change the credits.
I just wanted to know, how did you manage to stick with this for a decade?
I am utterly insane. Well, you know, I tried to, and somebody out here help me, because I'll put it out to you guys.
I think he didn't start out with the intention it was going to take a decade, I think is the answer to that.
That's a good answer. Oh, when I first started this, I thought it'd take about 3 years, you know, about the length of time it takes to make a, you know, really, this has a lot of content in it. Now, Mark wouldn't lie, it's got 13 hours of movie footage in it. So it's got to be a Guinness Book of World Record. But it is, and we're actually going to try to edit it into a mini-series kind of thing. We've been talking to Jeff Yap, who used to be the CEO at MTV and has worked with Jerry Bruckheimer. He got us in to meet with Jerry Bruckheimer, and so that may be something you might see in the future, but I didn't just say that. But 10 years, yeah, it started out as what I thought would be a 3-year project, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it took a lot longer than I thought. And I was the bottleneck, you see, because I had to have my hands on everything. When I first started, I had the idea that I might utilize more animators, and I couldn't let it go.
You can have take millions of dollars and a huge team working on Duke Nukem Forever, and they can't do it.
If I hear Duke Nukem Forever, I'm going to beat somebody. I've been hearing that. Come up with a, give me that t-shirt back. No, that's a good one.